Hi, welcome to Lean Blog Interviews. I'm your host, Mark Graban. Our guest today is Roberto Priolo. He is the managing editor of Planet Lean. It's a publication I hope you know about. If you were just learning about Planet Lean, look for a link in the show notes. Roberto is a writer and editor based in Barcelona. Before joining the Lean Global Network and launching Planet Lean, Roberto was editor of Lean Management Journal and associate editor of The Manufacturer magazine. So, Roberto, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah. I wanted to bring you on and talk a little bit about an event I'm really excited about. It's the Lean Global Connection event. I'm going to be one of the speakers in this event, November 21st and 22nd. So tell us, a little bit more about it. And it's a free event, we should emphasize as well,
It
right?
is. Yes. Thank you for that. So, the Lean Global Connection is something that the Lean Global Network started 4 years ago during the pandemic because we had no way of reaching out to the community in the way that we normally do through presential events. And so we were kind of scratching our heads and thinking, what can we do that is not I guess it hasn't been done before. And because we're based all around the world, we have 28 institutes around the world. We
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, what can we do that brings us all together? And so we had this crazy idea of a 24-hour kind of lean festival, bringing, kind of showcasing the best cases that we have from the previous year and kind of bringing us all together. And that was the genesis of the event. So this year we are at our fourth edition. As you mentioned, it's a free event. The Lean Global Network has a mission to spread lean thinking and practice around the world. Planet Lean, which you also kindly mentioned, is also a free asset that the community has at its disposal to learn more about lean and find cases and thought leadership around it.
Yeah. And so the event is I don't know if it chases the rising sun around the world or I mean it's a 24-hour
It is.
straight a 24-hour long event with
It is.
people presenting from all around the world, different time, probably not all 24 time zones, but close to it.
It is. It starts at 2 p.m. UTC, which it's 5 hours ahead of. I believe you're on the East Coast of the
Yeah.
U.S. So,
Hmm.
and it goes for 24 hours after that. So, of course, because we have people from like Chile to Australia, that was kind of
Yeah.
like the only way. So, a lot of people ask us like, do I need to stick to the whole 24 hour? Do I need to watch the whole 24 hours? And the answer is, of course, no. I mean, you can if you want to. We have some
Yeah.
people who do every year.
Yeah.
Night owls, I guess. But no, you don't have to. But of course, the content is typically uploaded a couple of weeks after the event on our
Mm.
YouTube channel. So people,
Ah, okay.
and we also have like two free stages happening at once. So of course, you cannot see the whole thing.
Mhm.
But that's kind of the point, I think. We want to have this big celebration of what lean is and like show how much of it is happening around the world. And so
Mhm.
we have these 30-minute sessions. Typically, there are 25 minutes plus 5 minutes for Q&A, and that they go on for the 24 hours. And I believe this year we're going to have probably around 100 presentations. I think
Mhm.
last year it was 104, so we're probably going to keep around the same number. And we have attendees, a few thousand attendees from around the world. Last year we had over 120 countries connected.
Wow.
And speakers from, I believe it's going to be 30 this year.
Okay. Well, that's really impressive, and I'm glad that the pandemic necessity of we're not getting together in person, we're not traveling internationally. I'm glad that this has turned into that global event. And yeah, it's like I was going to ask you if it's being recorded. I'm glad the answer is yes, because
Indeed.
it
Yes.
seems like far too much to keep up with, and people need their sleep.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And
this one,
sorry to cut in, but you said something about the pandemic. It's quite interesting because every year we wonder, like, does it still make sense to do it because the pandemic is over and there are presential events now, but the idea is, every year we ask people for feedback and we always get good feedback. People are loving the event, so we're like, sure, let's keep doing it. And like I said, we believe it's something new and something different, and we want to have that kind of celebration of lean every year.
Yeah. And I'll put a link to the Planet Lean website and the page where people can register
Thank you.
for the event. That'll be in the show notes. So please look for that. But yeah, it's funny that there's this day, but with the recordings, I mean this could generate a year's worth of watching
Yes.
for an individual or for a team of looking at that agenda and sort of plotting out like, hey, even if we were going to watch a couple of videos a week together as a team, there's really a lot of content that's going to come
It'll
out of
take you a
this
year. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
to tide people over to 2025. So, going through, scrolling through the list of speakers and people can, again, find that on the website. Just a few, to me, familiar faces. Art Byrne, author of many lean books and former CEO of Wiremold. Christoph Roser from Germany. I know a lot of his writing and his
Mhm.
work. Daryl Powell from Norway. Fabrice Bernard from France, who I've had here on the Lean podcast. Jim Womack, John Shook, Lex Schroeder, who used to work for LEI
Yeah.
when I was there, Michael Ballet, who
Yes.
people probably know. He's been on the podcast. Robert Martichenko, Sandrine Olivencia. I haven't seen her present. I recognize her name, of course. Tracy Defoe from Vancouver, Canada, who's been on the podcast here. We've got people from Poland, Taiwan, Ukraine, Turkey, Bulgaria, Slovakia.
That's right.
The list, I'm not going to read every single
Oh
country,
no, no, that
but
would be a whole podcast. No,
yeah. But
but no,
again, I hope.
well, we have this year. So of course we have a theme every year, and the theme that we chose this year is developing adaptiveness in a changing world, and that kind of stemmed from reflections on how messy the world is looking these days and how
Yeah.
things are changing. And we thought that it would be interesting to explore the role of lean in helping organizations develop that flexibility and adaptiveness
Mm.
to really face up to the challenges that the world throws at us. And since the pandemic, we kept talking about we're going to be going back to normal, and every time it feels like we're not going back to normal, things are getting even more complicated with war
Yeah.
and supply chain disruptions and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
we will AI. That's another big topic. We're going to have a few sessions on that.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're trying to do as well this year is bringing a couple of external voices as well, just to help people contextualize the theme really. And we don't just. I think as a community we have a tendency of kind of be a little bit inward looking, and I wanted to challenge ourselves to look beyond the Lean community. And so, for example, we will have Fabrizio Maronta from Italy, and he's from the team of this geopolitical magazine, and he's going to help us understand how the
Mm-hmm.
world is changing and why businesses around the world should pay attention to geopolitics even. So we're really trying to kind of shake things up a little bit, and of course we're going to have the cases that one would
Mm-hmm.
expect from a Lean conference and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for highlighting that. And I'm going to be doing a session on a topic that's a favorite of mine, talking about psychological safety as a foundation for continuous improvement. How can we help people feel safe speaking up
That's right.
about problems, ideas, mistakes? That's certainly necessary for Kaizen or continuous improvement. It's necessary for catchball and strategy deployment. People have to feel safe even to disagree with their leader. Otherwise, that catchball is not really a
Absolutely.
back and forth. If people just say to the boss, "Yes, you're right," that's perfect. When they don't really agree, I think the top lean organizations, whether they realize it or not, they have created an environment where people feel safe to
That's
speak
right.
up. And so I want to share some thoughts from Amy Edmondson and others who have been leading researchers in the topic of psychological safety. I want to, hopefully either encourage people if they're doing well with psychological safety and they don't have that language around it. Great, keep it up, keep improving. And I think some organizations sometimes need to maybe take some remedial steps if they're wondering, well, why are people not speaking up? Why are they not sharing ideas? Instead of blaming the employees, sometimes we need to look at the environment and do some things to not just tell people they should feel safe, but to help them truly
Absolutely.
feel and be safe.
Absolutely. And I really look forward to your presentation. I'm glad you're touching on this very important topic. I think that one of the things that we've learned by looking at the feedback that we get at the LGC and, of course, other events as well that we run is that you never stress certain fundamental points enough when it comes to lean. So like we have a tendency of thinking that people, because we have been around for a long time as a community, we have this tendency to think that people, they understand, that the social side, speaking about psychological safety, for example, the social side of lean is something that is well understood, but really you need to go and reinforce that message over and over again. And you still get people thinking that lean is a bunch of technical tools. And so it's wonderful. It's wonderful that you're doing that. And thank you for being with us this year.
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity to do so. And again, I hope people check out the Lean Global Connection event. It's November 21st and 22nd, or depending on your time zones around the world. Right. The website will make clear, and you can convert from UTC. I hope people will check it out. Again, it's free. It's going to be great. And if people can't wait, I guess they can go to YouTube and watch some of the presentations from previous years.
That's right, absolutely. So you can go to the Lean Global Network YouTube channel, and there you will find playlists from previous events, and you can get an idea of the sort of things that the sort of show that we put up, and the sort of presentations that you can expect. And we really hope to have as many of you as possible from this great community. Yes, it's going to be a great event. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Roberto. And one other question, out of curiosity, with your background studying journalism, and how did you end up in this lean community with the journal and covering manufacturing and now doing Planet Lean?
So the lean origin story, by chance, I would say. So I moved to London in 2009 to study journalism. After I graduated from uni in Italy, I studied political sciences. And at school, one of the people on this postgraduate course was the editor of The Manufacturer. And he told me that they were looking for an intern. So I needed a job, I needed to learn, I needed experience.
Yeah.
And so I started to being an intern for them. And then I started doing freelance work for them. And then I finally became editor of the Lean Management Journal. And through that, I got to meet all of the many of the LGN people, as well as many other people from the Lean community. And that led to my current job at the Lean Global Network, which started now 11 years ago. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're doing so much and being part of the community. Again, I hope people will check out Planet Lean and subscribe or start reading if they're not already doing so. So again, I want to thank our guest today, Roberto Priolo, and really, again, looking forward to the event, the Lean Global Connection. And thanks for joining us to give an overview and let people know about this event. Thanks again for doing it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Mark, and goodbye, everyone.